Hey, welcome back to Shane's Main Shop. I apologize, I should have showed this before I started the process. But basically, this is a leaking pump. We have two leaks, and we're thinking one of the fittings down here is bad, so we're going to replace that. And then we know this one was bad. This was in here, like so. Let me just show you what we had here for a setup. And then this sits on top of that, was screwed into that, and then the other half of the hose hooked in here. And this, as you can see, has been leaking right at this joint. So we were fortunate we had this joint here to break it apart, so we don't have to break any solder or any other threaded components. We can just take this off here, and that allows us to pull it apart and work on the pump. Of course, we shut the water off to the upstairs of the house, and the pump is unplugged, so we're not draining back the whole house. And of course, we don't want the pump to come on while we're making the repair. The one thing I knew was going to be a challenge was getting this piece out, because I knew it was weak, leaking. So my brother was actually holding the pump. I had the pipe wrench on it because it crushed the piece. I had to grab it on the other side to kind of uncrush it to get it to come out. But that piece is now out, so we're going to clean this area all up here. We did get most of the dirt away before we pulled this off, so we wouldn't get stuff down inside the pump as much as possible. Now we're going to take and clean this one up, install it, and then we'll move down to there. So let me get this piece cleaned up here and show you what we're going to do. It's Shane's Main Shop, but I want you to check out The Art of Doing. All right, so we got this all cleaned up. We're going to go ahead and clean this area up a little bit here, get some Teflon in this, and get this put back in there. All right, we got super creative here. We got our wet vac over there, and I just cut this short length of clear hose, wrapped a rag around it into here, turn the vacuum on, and suck the water out. But mainly we wanted to suck out some loose particles that were down in there, and this proved to work very well. So we're very happy with that. So we got any loose stuff that was down in there all pretty well cleaned out. So we're getting ready to start assembly. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and tighten this back up. So we got that started down there, then we put this piece back on top. I'm going to tighten the whole thing from up here. We know we have to end up with it facing this way out here. So this will tighten up both at the same time. Plus I'm not grabbing onto the threads because that's such a small area down there. So we'll use the T to tighten that up into the pump as well. All right, so we have that back positioned properly with a new piece in the middle. And we'll be putting this back on, but not yet. So we're going to fill this with water. But now we got to address the situation down here and see where this is leaking. We don't exactly know where the leak was down here, so we decided to remove this fitting. And we're going to put, the reason why it's removed, because I forgot to push record on the camera. We're going to reseal this all up to make sure that this wasn't a problem. We don't know if it was this or where the hose was clamped to it. So yeah, we're just going to get this cleaned up and try to start the reassembly. That back together. And as you saw a little bit earlier, we got this back together as far as back down in here. What we got to do now is get the hose back on and then make this connection after we fill it with water, so we have at least it primed a little bit. That's why I'm not putting that on yet. We're going to pull water down into here.
I think the top part looks fine.
Yeah, looks good.
The bottom had a bunch of crud on it, but...
So we're going to go ahead and see if we can get this hose back on. All right, that's as far as it will go. Here, looks like it's going to go on relatively easy, which is good and bad. It means it may not seal for us, but we'll see in just a minute. So I'm going to go ahead. I need both hands to get that. Okay.
Yeah, you hold the video, and I'll wiggle this on.
All right, it's all the way. This wasn't leaking up here before, so let's hope it doesn't again. Something down there was, but we're going to find out a little bit. So far, so good. We're going to go ahead and get the clamps back on this, and then we'll show you where we're at. And once we get it filled, it's going to take a bit, so it's going to fill the tube all up, and then, of course, the whole pump housing. So once we get it filled, we'll get that connected back up. All right, as you can see, it is full. I know it's hard to tell, but it is definitely full of water. We're going to go ahead and connect this piece back up. All right, we got it all back together, and pressure, of course, is at 0, and hopefully we don't have any leaks. So we're going to go ahead and plug this thing in and see what happens. Since you have the tripod, Mark, once you have that set up, you mind plugging it in?
Yep. Hold on.
All right, so we get everything back together. You can see no leaks here now. This was leaking, we tightened that up. That is no longer leaking. And we had that leak down here that we have put a new fitting in and triple clamped it, the brass fitting. But yeah, not leaking, so that problem is solved. Hey, thanks for swinging by Shane's Main Shop. Please like, subscribe, comment, come back often for more videos. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.